Top 3 most rare and valuable Washington quarters that could be worth a fortune. Washington quarters have long been a favorite of collectors. These rare coins aren't just pocket change and that could make you rich. They're historical artifacts worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands. The 1965 Washington quarter marked a significant transition in U.S. coinage. This was the first year quarters were no longer made of silver, as the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to rising silver prices. While billions of these coins were minted, rare errors and varieties from 1965 can make certain coins incredibly valuable. These quarters can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, making them a treasure worth searching for. History of the 1965 Washington quarter. In 1965, the U.S. Mint made a major change in its coinage. Due to the rising cost of silver, quarters, dimes, and half dollars were no longer made of 90% silver. Instead, the Mint introduced a copper-nickel-clad composition, with a pure copper core sandwiched between 2 layers of nickel, making it a high mintage issue. However, a few exceptional error coins slipped through, and these are what collectors prize today. Rare errors and varieties on the 1965 quarter. 1965 silver quarter error. Some 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from 1964. These coins weigh 6.25 grams compared to the standard 5.67 grams of copper-nickel quarters. Value. A 1965 silver quarter can sell for $7,000 to $10,000 or more, depending on its condition. Clipped planchet errors. Value. Clipped planchet errors can sell for $150 to $500, depending on the size and clarity of the clip. Off-center strikes. The more off-center the strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin. Value. Off-center 1965 quarters can sell for $200 to $1,500, especially if the date is visible. Double die obverse. Value. Depending on the severity, a DDO error can fetch $500 to $2,000 or more. Wrong planchet errors. These coins are usually smaller in diameter and lighter in weight. Value. These errors have sold for $3,000 to $7,000 at auction. Record-breaking auction sales. A 1965 silver quarter sold for $8,625 at auction due to its rarity and high condition. A wrong planchet error, struck on a dime planchet, fetched over $6,000. Off-center strikes with visible dates have sold for $500 to $1,200, depending on their grade and misalignment. Why the 1965 quarter is so special. The 1965 quarter represents a turning point in U.S. coinage history. While most of these coins are common, the rare errors and varieties make this year particularly exciting for collectors. These coins are a reminder that even everyday change can hold hidden treasures worth thousands of dollars. The 1969 Washington quarter may seem like a typical coin in your collection or pocket change, but certain rare error varieties have turned this coin into a treasure for collectors. These errors have sold at auction for hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars, making them highly sought after. In this video, let's dive into the history, errors, and potential values of the 1969 Washington quarter that could make you richer than you think. History of the 1969 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter series began in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. By 1969, quarters were being struck in copper-nickel-clad composition, having transitioned from silver in 1965. Despite the high mintage numbers, error coins from 1969 are what make this year special. These minting mistakes were rare, often the result of accidental oversights, and they've created a lucrative niche for collectors. Rare errors on the 1969 Washington quarter. Double die obverse. Value. A high-grade double die 1969 quarter can sell for $500 to over $3,000, depending on the clarity of the doubling and condition. Off-center strike errors. A coin struck off-center will have part of its design missing along the edge, with some showing as much as 50% to 75% off-center. Value. These coins can sell for $200 to $1,500, depending on the degree of the error and its overall condition. Clipped planchet error. Value. A 1969 clipped planchet error can fetch $100 to $800, with larger clips being more desirable. Wrong planchet error, such as a dime or nickel, is an extremely rare error. Value. These coins are incredibly valuable, often selling for $5,000 to $15,000 depending on the denomination and condition. Die cracks and cuts, value. Die crack and cut errors can sell for $100 to $500, with more dramatic examples commanding higher prices. How to spot a rare 1969 quarter error, record-breaking auction sales of 1969 quarters. A 1969 double die obverse quarter in pristine condition sold for $2,700 at auction. A wrong planchet error from 1969, struck on a dime planchet, fetched over $10,000, making it one of the most valuable error coins of the series. Off-center strikes with significant misalignments have sold for $500 to $2,000, depending on the degree of error and eye appeal. Why the 1969 quarter is a must-have for collectors. The 1969 Washington quarter is a reminder that even modern coins can hold extraordinary value. From double dies to wrong planchet errors, these coins can turn up in collections or circulation, making every 1969 quarter worth inspecting. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting, these rare varieties are a testament to the thrill of coin collecting. At first glance, the 1973 Washington quarter might seem like an ordinary coin in your pocket, but there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Certain rare errors and varieties from 1973 have turned these coins into prized collectibles worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The history of the 1973 Washington quarter. By 1973, the Washington quarter had already been in production for over 4 decades, having debuted in 1932. These quarters were struck in copper-nickel clad composition, a change made in 1965 after silver was removed from circulation coins. While standard 1973 quarters are plentiful, it's the error coins that steal the spotlight. These minting mistakes make certain quarters from 1973 extremely valuable. Rare errors and varieties of the 1973 quarter. Double die obverse, value. A high-grade double die error can sell for $500 to $3,000, depending on the strength of the doubling in the coin's condition. Off-center strike errors, value. These coins are highly collectible and can fetch $200 to $2,000, depending on the degree of misalignment. Clipped planchet errors, value. Clipped planchet errors can sell for $150 to $700, depending on the size and clarity of the clip. Wrong planchet errors, value. Wrong planchet errors can sell for $5,000 to $10,000 or more, depending on the planchet and condition. Die cracks and cuts. These errors result from damaged dies, creating raised lines or blobs on the coin. Large die cracks or cuts near the rim are particularly valuable. Value. Die crack errors can range from $100 to $500, with larger, more dramatic examples commanding higher prices. Transitional errors. Transitional errors occur when coins are struck with features or planchets intended for another year or composition. Value. Prices for transitional errors can exceed $10,000, depending on the circumstances. Record-breaking auction sales of 1973 quarters. A 1973 double die quarter in high grade sold for over $2,500 at auction. A wrong planchet error from 1973 struck on a nickel planchet fetched an astounding $12,000. Off-center strikes have sold for $1,000 to $3,000, depending on the degree of misalignment. Why the 1973 quarter deserves a closer look. The 1973 Washington quarter proves that even modern coins can hold significant value, especially when it comes to rare errors and varieties. Whether it's a double die, off-center strike, or a wrong planchet error, these coins are proof that there's always treasure to be found in your pocket change or collection. The 1979 D Washington quarter might look like just another coin in your pocket, but don't underestimate it. Rare errors and varieties from this year have turned seemingly ordinary quarters into collectibles worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. A brief history of the 1979 D Washington quarter. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, underwent changes over the years, but by 1979, it was being struck in copper-nickel clad composition, no silver. But hidden among the millions of coins are rare errors and minting varieties that command massive premiums in the collector's market. Rare errors and varieties of the 1979 D quarter. Double die obverse, value. A well-preserved double die error can sell for $500 to $2,000, depending on its clarity and grade. Off-center strike errors. The greater the off-center percentage, the more valuable the coin. Value. Off-center strikes can bring $200 to $1,500, especially if the date and mint mark are visible. Clipped planchet errors. Value. these errors can sell for $150 to $700, depending on the size and shape of the clip. Transitional errors. Transitional errors are extremely rare and occur when coins are struck using the wrong metallic composition. Value. Transitional errors, if discovered, can exceed $10,000 or more at auction. Die cracks and cuds. Value. These can range from $100 to $500, with larger, more dramatic die cracks or cuds commanding higher prices. Auction records for 1979 D quarters, a double die obverse, DDO, error sold for over $1,500 in high grade. A dramatic off-center strike fetched $1,200 at auction. Rare die crack errors have sold for $400 to $800, depending on their size and prominence. Why the 1979 D quarter is worth searching for. The 1979 D Washington quarter is a perfect example of how everyday coins can turn into extraordinary finds. With rare errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks, these coins have become highly sought after by collectors willing to pay top dollar. Don't overlook your pocket change. Your next treasure could be hiding in plain sight. The 1981 P Washington quarter might appear as just another coin in your loose change, but some rare varieties and mint errors from this year are turning heads in the collector's market. These coins can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. A brief history of the 1981 P Washington quarter. The Washington quarter, introduced in 1932, was a staple of American coinage. By 1981, these coins were struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition and produced at various mints, including the Philadelphia Mint. However, not all of these coins are created equal. Hidden among the millions are rare errors and varieties that have become coveted collector's items. Rare errors and varieties of the 1981 P quarter, double die obverse. Value. A well-preserved double die obverse can sell for $500 to $3,000, depending on the grade and visibility of the doubling. Off-center strike errors. Coins with significant off-center strikes are highly collectible. Value. Off-center strike errors can command prices of $200 to $1,500, depending on how much of the design is missing. Clipped planchet errors. Value. These errors can fetch between $150 and $700, depending on the size and appearance of the clip. Die cracks and cuds. These imperfections can increase a coin's desirability. Value. Die crack errors range from $100 to $500, with larger and more dramatic examples commanding higher premiums. Transitional planchet errors. Always check the coin's weight if you suspect something unusual. Value. If discovered, these rare errors could be worth over $10,000 or more. Auction highlights for 1981 P quarters, a double die obverse, DDO, in high grade sold for $2,800 at auction. A dramatic off-center strike error brought in $1,250 in uncirculated condition. A unique die crack error fetched $600, proving even smaller errors can hold significant value. Why the 1981 P quarter is worth searching for. With millions of quarters produced in 1981, the odds might seem slim, but rare errors and varieties do exist, and they're worth the hunt. These coins can bring hundreds to thousands of dollars, turning an ordinary quarter into an extraordinary discovery.